Welcome to the Community Engagement and Social Change Minor info session. My name is Megan Libri, and I'm an academic coordinator with the Center for Community Engagement.
Hi, my name is Carolina Jimenez, and I'm a program representative for the Center for Community Engagement.
We're really excited to chat with you about the minor today. And watching this info session or attending an info session is one step in completing the application for the minor. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. The overview of our information session is, you can see it here. We're going to introduce to you what community engagement is and what the minor is all about. We'll go over the 7 course requirements for the minor, including the Capstone, as well as some special programs that you can participate in to earn academic credit and work toward completing the minor. We'll go over the steps for the minor application. We'll show you some sample program plans, and then we'll wrap up with talking about some benefits of joining the minor. So what is community engagement? Our definition here at the Center for Community Engagement is that it is community engaged work that it develops one's awareness of social issues through active participation in the community. So the way that you can practically think about this with the minor is you're going to have academic classroom experiences where you're going to be learning about theories and practices, but then you're also going to have this opportunity to apply what you learn in the classroom through community engaged learning. So that might look like an internship. It may look like community engaged work within an experiential learning course where you're actually working alongside community partners. So it's a really beautiful way of blending the theoretical with the practical. And ultimately, we believe that this is one of the best ways to learn. So the community engagement and social change minor can be combined with any major, and it is interdisciplinary and interdepartmental. So what that means is when you look at the minor course requirements, you're going to see that we have courses that span from public affairs to sociology to English to community engagement, social change. There's a wide variety, and you really get to make the minor your own based on your interest. We also look at addressing systemic inequity through active participation in the community, as I described, and we're thinking critically about our roles within the community, and not even just UCLA, but in the greater local LA area and then the nation and the world. So really thinking about what our local and global impact will be.
So who's in the CESC Minor? All majors are welcome. It's open to any major, any class standing from like first year through fourth year. And your interests can include social activism, government and public policy, social entrepreneurship, public health and medicine, education and teaching, social work, art activism, legal professions, and also nonprofits.
Yes. We're very excited. The community engagement and social change minor went under a curriculum revamp a couple of years ago. And so now we feel, well, we don't even feel, we know the minor has grown very exponentially. And we really believe that it appeals to a lot of different students that have a lot of different interests. So we're really happy you're here today to even just learn about it and see how it may fit with both your academic and your career plans. All right, we're going to start to get into the requirements of the minor. So in total, there are 7 classes that make up the minor. A fun fact to know about UCLA is that you can overlap up to 2 upper division courses between your major and your minor. So that's something to keep in mind. So let's say, for an example, you're a sociology major and you're able to, take 2 classes that will complete requirements for the minor and complete requirements for the sociology major. That's awesome. Then you would only need 5 unique classes to complete the minor. So, and I think something else before we launch into the requirements I wanted to mention is that this minor is very flexible. We do not have like a prereq you have to complete before applying. There's a lot of flexibility and only 2 courses that you do need to take in a particular quarter, which we'll get to. So let's start first with the first requirement, which is the core, 1 core course. So students have the opportunity to choose between CESC 50 XP and CESC 100 XP. Both courses are 5 units. 50 XP is offered in fall, winter, and spring, and CESC 100 XP is historically only offered in the winter. So I do find that most students will have taken 50 XP, and that's usually like a great gateway course to learning about the minor. But these are the 2 that you can use. So for CESC 50 XP, it's Engaging Los Angeles. Like I mentioned, it's 5 units. It satisfies the core requirement for the minor, offered fall, winter, and spring quarters. And it satisfies the social analysis GE and the letters and science diversity requirements. So that's great. You can also use it to fulfill those requirements. So when we're thinking about the 2 core classes, 50 XP in general is going to look at community engagement and exploring Los Angeles on more of a micro level. So really understanding both the historical and current context of what social justice and community engagement has looked like in Los Angeles, which I think is very appealing for many students. So now let's talk about CESC 100 XP, and that is Perspectives on Civic Engagement for Social Justice. This is another course that you can use to complete the core requirement. It's also 5 units. It's historically offered in the winter quarter. So oftentimes you students that are maybe they've completed those other GE requirements that 50 XP completes, and maybe you're somebody who wants to start looking at more upper division and looking at community engagement on a more macro level, this is a great option. And it also does satisfy an LNS diversity requirement, which is great. Sorry.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so let's move on with the minor requirements. The next one is you have 2 community engaged course requirements to complete. So when you look at our website, I want to draw your attention down here to this link. This is a complete list of courses that have been approved for the minor. It's about 11 pages at this moment. So if you are looking for a particular course, you can just use the find option on the document to look through it, but you can also get a sense of what has been included. So the community engaged courses, that can be any XP course, could be a community-based research class, or even an internship course like our 195 CE courses, which I'll share more in a little bit. Out of the 2 community engaged courses, 1 can be lower division. So an example of this that I actually have seen often is some students will use CESC 100 XP for their core course, and then they'll actually use CESC 50 XP for one of their community engaged courses because it's lower division and it's an XP course. Now, the same could be applied the opposite. You could use 50 XP for your core course and 100 XP for one of your community engaged courses. So if you have more questions or want to see more options, I would definitely direct you to the minor sheet on our website. So let's chat about our 195 CE internship courses. These courses are open for upperclassmen to satisfy the community engaged course requirement for the CESC minor. It's an option to do this, but it's not a requirement. A 195 CE internship course is a great opportunity to not only receive academic credit for the work you're doing in the internship, but to also have a one-on-one experience with a graduate student instructor to talk about your internship, to do readings and writing assignments that relate to the department in which you are completing the 195 CE. So the way that it works is students would identify and secure an internship with an outside business, nonprofit, or governmental agency. And then we have a great list of enrollment instructions on our 195 CE website that you would follow. And really the first step is to set up an intake appointment with a graduate student instructor for the quarter that you want to do your internship and receive academic credit. And during that intake appointment, your grad student instructor would be able to start the approval process for the course. You create these contract courses on My UCLA. Again, we have step-by-step instructions on our website, so definitely check that out. All of our 195 CEs are 4 units. And so what that looks like is there's a minimum requirement of 80 hours of internship work that you're doing for at least 8 weeks of the quarter, on top of what I was mentioning, these bi-weekly GSI grad student instructor meetings, one-on-one, and then some reading and writing assignments, as well as a final project or paper at the end. And the class requirements, like I mentioned, are listed below. The first meeting you have with your grad student instructor, the intake appointment, does count as one of the 5 meetings over the course of the quarter. And most students meet with their grad student like week 1 for the intake appointment, and then on the odd weeks until they hit those five meetings. Okay, so here are some examples. Here are examples of where students have done internships in the past. You'll notice that a lot of these are local to Los Angeles. Due to the pandemic and having to, really re-examine the way in which we offered these internship courses, we can approve remote, hybrid, or in-person internships. I would highly recommend, reaching out to that graduate instructor to start the intake process. Or if you have questions, you can email 195ceinfo@college.ucla.edu, and we can help you answer some questions. But just to share an example, like we've had a student who had a remote internship in Texas while she's now here doing her coursework in person. So that did not exist prior to the pandemic. And this is one thing that we're happy to continue to roll out now that we're back in person. It's just creating more opportunities for students to have internships outside of the LA area. Next, we have our Strategy of Social Change course. And this is when in the minor you start to transition to thinking about what you want to focus on for your final capstone project. So these courses can include community organizing, policy development, advocacy, all of the examples you see here. And ideally, you would be choosing a class in a department or on a topic that really interests you as it relates to social justice and social change. Similarly to the Strategy of Social Change course, the one upper division elective you take will also just continue to help further prepare you for your capstone. It can include a research methods course, but again, most often students are looking for taking courses that really they connect with and what they want to focus on for their capstone. This is also a moment that I want to say, when you're looking at the courses online that we've approved, and let's say you took a course or you're about to take a course, then you're like, oh, it's not on their approved list. By all means, follow the petition process on the minor requirements page. And we're always happy to review courses that we may just not have been aware of. So we've added 2 just in this year alone. So always bring those to us. We appreciate it. Finally, we have the community engaged capstone requirement. And really, this is the one requirement, or I guess 2 courses, but one requirement that we do need you to pay attention to when planning your academic program. So in the last winter and spring quarter of your time at UCLA, most often someone's senior year, but if you're graduating early, it would be like your junior year, you'll take CESC 191AX in the winter quarter and then 191BX in the spring quarter. the way that it is set up, it is more of a seminar-based course. You are going to be with the same group of people for 2 quarters as you really start to delve deep into the areas of interest and getting to work with a community partner to ultimately do this big final project and graduate with this e-portfolio of your work. So everything that you take prior to that will only enhance your capstone. And yeah, it's really meant to give you some sort of tangible item that you can take with you as you apply to grad school or look for a job. And it's really the culmination of your minor. All right. We have a whole list of examples of capstone projects on our website, but I just listed some here. We also have an e-scholarship website that we have access to and can upload, so you can actually read capstone research projects. This past year, we had our students do undergraduate research week. So again, you can go to our website and watch a couple of them, and I would highly recommend it. It was really an engaging presentations. All right, so let's focus next. I'm not going to go too in depth on both of these programs because they each have excellent program reps to go over it, but I did want to bring your attention to UC Center Sacramento and our UCLA Quarter in Washington program. So if you are interested in learning more and being a part of both the legislative and executive branches of government up in Sacramento, our capital, I would highly recommend checking this out. This program is offered every year, and you would do a quarter. I think you can do longer, but double check. I know for sure you can do a quarter. And when you take these courses that are listed on our page, you can see how they fulfill the minor requirement. So it's an awesome way to sort of have a broad, if you will, a broad experience while also completing your minor. And, you know, it would be interesting if you're a political science student, it would be good to talk to your advisor to see where that fits into with your major. But for more information, please meet with Georgia. She's awesome. She's been overseeing this program for a number of years, and she'll be able to assist you. Next is the UCLA Quarter in Washington program. This program just came over to the Undergraduate Education Initiatives office, and we're really excited. This program has been around a long time, but I did get a little bit of a makeover with the curriculum. And so far it's going really well. So this is an opportunity in fall, winter, and spring to do a quarter in Washington, DC. And oops. Quarter in Washington, DC. And take courses while also remaining a full-time UCLA student and doing an internship in Washington. So anywhere from Capitol Hill to art museums to nonprofits. And you can see here again on this screen that there are 3 different courses that you take to fulfill the requirements of Quarter in Washington that would translate to fulfilling some of our minor requirements. So 2 community engaged courses, that requirement would be done for you, as well as the upper division elective course. I'm very pleased to share that we recently welcomed our newest staff member, who is the program rep for Quarter in Washington. Her name is Rachel, and you can reach out to her, and she'd be happy to share with you more about the program and share upcoming deadlines for applications.
All right, so this is going to be a slide that shows you like a sample 3-year plan with taking CESC 50XP, which is the Engaging in Los Angeles course. So let's say you start the sophomore year, you would begin taking the core course winter quarter, which is the CESC 50XP. In spring quarter, you would do your first community engaged course from the list of courses offered on the site. And then your junior year, you could do the second community engaged course in the fall. Winter, you can do that strategy of social change course. Spring quarter, it can be your upper division elective. And for your last year, you could do that course that's required to be taken in succession, which is CESC 191AX and CESC 191BA. Another sample for the 2-year plan would be if you choose to take CESC 100 XP for the core course. So fall quarter of your junior year, you would take that first community engaged course. Winter quarter would be that core CESC 100 XP course. And for spring quarter, you would take 2 courses, that being the community engaged course and the strategy of social change course. And for your last year, you could do the upper division elective in fall quarter. And for your 2 remaining quarters would be 191AX and 191BA.
Thank you. That's so awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. And I think just as a reminder that you can overlap up to 2 upper division courses. So maybe your strategy of social change course and that first community engaged course you took overlap with your major. That just brings down the unique classes you have to take. But if you're, say, a neuroscience major, well, that's not a good example because they actually have some overlap. Well, let's say you're in a major where there is no overlap. That's okay. It just means that you'll have to take 7 classes and then it won't overlap. And again, you can interchange the core course, 50 XP or 100 XP, but these are just 2 sample plans. And if you do have questions specifically about your program plan, you can either meet with a college academic counselor or you can email communityengagement@college.ucla.edu.
All right, so applying to the minor, you can do so online at the Community Center Engagement website page, which is linked here. And then to apply for the minor, you'd have to have a cumulative GPA of 2.0 or better. You must attend or watch an info session, such as the one we're presenting to you now. And you would complete that online application on the website. Again, for any questions, you can also email us, and all of our contact information can be found on that link as well. So you should be able to complete all degree requirements, including the requirements for the minor, within your time to degree. A list of benefits, you can see them here. You would acquire transferable skills that are applicable to when you graduate. You can apply, as was mentioned before, theory to practice. You have one-on-one faculty advising and one-on-one academic counseling. So for example, if you choose to go to the route of the 195 CE courses, you'd have that one-on-one instruction with the graduate student instructor on a bi-weekly basis. And then you work with peers who are just as passionate about US social justice, and you get opportunities for research and internship experiences, such as the 195C courses. And if you're interested for now in seeing what those look like, you can also visit our website, and we have a list of courses along with the syllabus for different fields or different majors, so you can see what aligns best with you. Lastly, you can contact us for general questions at communityengagement@college.ucla.edu. If you have more specific questions for the internship, we do have an email just for the 195 CE courses, and that's going to be 195ce@info.ucla.edu. And we have an academic counselor that's currently on leave, but beginning spring 2022, you can email her, and that's what's linked there. And another reminder to visit our website for enrollment procedures and more information on minor requirements and courses. You all be found right there. And then we also have a Facebook and Instagram page, which we monitor regularly, and where we answer inquiries as well.
Awesome. Thank you. So thank you again for spending time with us today. We're so happy and excited that you're interested in the minor. Again, this is a really exciting time for our program. We have grown exponentially. Our faculty advisory committee is very engaged and very excited about the future. And we know that things will only continue to improve and be even better now that we're back together on campus, and also getting the opportunity to both do in-person, hybrid, and remote community engaged work. So thank you again. And as always, go Bruins.